Welcome to Student Orientation and Registration. On behalf of the Financial Aid Office, we would like to congratulate all the high school graduates. We know this is a big milestone in your life, and we couldn't be more excited to welcome you to Detroit Mercy. We are going to go over some important information that will help you with the financial aid process and help you accomplish a Detroit Mercy education financially. Every student that is accepted and admitted into the university should have received a financial aid package. If not, make sure to speak with admissions. The student would have received it in the mail and through the Students Detroit Mercy email. Once you receive this, you want to review and determine the aid you want to accept. And this is where the student will go to do that. The student can log into the school portal through my.udmercy.edu and see their financial aid package. Here you will see the financial aid package for the academic year. It will also give you a breakdown of amounts for each term. If you have problems logging in, you can contact the financial aid office and we will be more than happy to help you. Make sure to read everything carefully and decide what you want to accept or decline. It is important that you understand the financial aid resources before you accept them. If you have already accepted a fund but then decided not to use it, the student can send an email to the financial aid office stating so at finaid@udmercy.edu. So let's go over different types of financial aid. Scholarships and grants, which are great because these are free dollars and do not have to be repaid. These will show up on the student's package through the student school portal and will be in accepted status as no one wants to decline free dollars. For Detroit Mercy scholarships, please read your admissions academic scholarship reply form for complete details on GPA requirements and the length of the award. Your FAFSA information is calculated by the federal government and determines which grants a student qualifies for depending on need, such as the federal Pell Grant. And remember, families must submit a FAFSA application every year to continue to qualify for these funds. The need-based grant is also free dollars and is need-based, and eligibility is also determined based on the FAFSA application. Other grants which are free federal or state funds that do not have to be repaid are the Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant and the Michigan Tuition Grant. For the Michigan Tuition Grant, March 1st was the deadline to make certain you had the FAFSA application completed. Also, you must make sure you have listed Detroit Mercy as your first school of choice on the FAFSA application in order for the state to send the funds to the school to be processed to the student's account. If you haven't already done so, you can log back into the FAFSA application to make a correction in the school selection section. Make sure to list Detroit Mercy as your first school of choice and make sure to sign and resubmit the FAFSA application. Another form of financial aid is work study, and it is also need-based. And again, eligibility is determined by the federal government. This is an optional work program where students can work on campus and earn a paycheck just like a regular job. If the student does not work, the student will not receive these funds. Therefore, it's not automatically deducted from your university costs. If you are awarded work study and would like to participate in this program, make sure you accept this award through your school portal by October 1st. Another form of aid is loans. Remember, student loans are not free funds and must be repaid. These are the different types of loans. The federal direct loans would go into the student's name. The direct Parent Plus loan would go into a parent's name, and it is credit-based. And there are private loans, which would go into the student's name. However, since private loans are credit-based, the student will most likely need a credit-worthy cosigner to be approved for a private loan. Let's take a closer look at direct federal loans. Again, these loans would go into the student's name. The current interest rate is 2.75%, and it has an origination fee of 1.059%. The student must complete 2 online requirements at studentaid.gov in order for the loan funds to process. One is the loan entrance counseling, which will counsel the student about student loans, and the second is the loan agreement master promissory note, which is a promise to pay back the loan. These are the two types of federal direct loans. One is the subsidized loan and the other is the unsubsidized loan. They both have the same interest rate and origination fee, but with the subsidized loan, no interest accrues on this loan for up until 6 months after the student graduates, or if the student attends below part-time for 6 months. Payments are deferred for up until 6 months after the student graduates, or again, if the student attends below part-time for 6 months. With the unsubsidized loan, interest starts to accrue on this loan as soon as the first disbursement is made to the student's account. So as soon as half of the loan is dispersed in the fall term, interest is accruing and compounding on the loan. Many students like to make interest-only payments while they are in school, as this is a small amount and this keeps from any interest growing and compounding on the loan. However, you do not have to, as payments are deferred on this loan as well for up until 6 months after the student graduates, or if the student starts to attend below part-time for 6 months. Then there is the Parent Plus loan. This loan would go into one parent's name and it is credit-based. The current interest rate is 5.30%, and it also has an origination fee of 4.236%. Which means, for example, if you borrow a $10,000 loan minus the origination fee, only about $9,576 will disperse to the student's account, and half will disperse in the fall and the other half in the winter semester. The parent can choose to defer loan payments while the student is in school for up until 6 months after the student graduates, or if the student starts to attend below part-time for 6 months. The parent must complete 2 online requirements. First, the parent must complete the Parent Plus loan application, and then, if approved, complete the Parent Plus loan agreement or master promissory note. If the parent is denied for this loan, the parent may choose to forego a co-borrower. If the parent is unable or chooses not to pursue a co-borrower, then the student may be eligible for an additional $4,000 in unsubsidized loan funds. Another option is a private loan. A private loan would be in the student's name, but since it is credit-based, the student would need a credit-worthy cosigner. Interest and repayment options may vary with each lender. A private loan may also be deferred, however, check with the lender. If you plan on using this option, make sure to apply in early July, as processing times can take up to 3 weeks for private loans. So let's compare the private loan versus the Parent Plus loan. With a private loan, again, this would go into the student's name. However, since it is credit-based, the student will most likely need a credit-worthy cosigner, but typically, after 24 months of on-time payments, the student can reapply to have the cosigner removed. Whereas with the Parent Plus loan, this loan goes into the parent's name and stays in the parent's name for the life of the loan. With the private loan, this may help to build credit for the student, and you may be able to find a lower interest rate than the Parent Plus loan. With the Parent Plus loan, this is a loan from the federal government in which it qualifies for deferments and forbearances. For instance, if the parent lost his or her job, the parent can show hardship to the federal government, and the government will defer payments, whereas a private lender is not going to do this for you. So do your homework, go through the pros and cons, and weigh out all of your options. Each year, the federal government randomly selects students and families to verify the information they reported on the FAFSA, such as student and parent income, citizenship, Social Security cards, proof of selective service, birth certificates. Financial aid must clear the student from verification in order to process the student's financial aid. The student will receive notifications through their Detroit Mercy email and school portal of any missing requirements, so make certain you are checking your Detroit Mercy email and school portal often. Also, all documents are available on our website under financial aid forms, such as the verification worksheet and instructions on how you can request a tax transcript from the IRS. It is very important to know that no federal or state aid will process to the student's account until verification is completed. If verification is not completed and the student was awarded a Detroit Mercy need-based grant, it will be removed from the student's account. Our goal is to have every student's financial aid file finalized before the student's start of classes. Processing of the 2020 and 2021 year loans will start at the end of July, which means all online loan requirements completed ahead of time will not reflect on the student school portal until the end of July. Remember, any FAFSA changes that are made may equal financial aid package changes. All changes that you make to your FAFSA application must be reviewed, and if this creates a change to the student's package, the student will receive an email through their Detroit Mercy email indicating a change. Again, students are encouraged to check the Detroit Mercy emails often. Certain changes may be mailed to the student's address. Here is a recap of your next steps that you need to do. Accept your aid through your school portal. Make any necessary corrections to your FAFSA application. Complete any loan requirements and complete any verification requirements. So what is your bottom line? The Easy as 123 sheet guides you through cost and funding options to determine any balances you may have. This is what the sheet looks like. In financial aid, we have this worksheet designed to calculate your bottom line. Every student is unique, and so is every family's financial situation. Therefore, we will prepare each of your confidential Easy as 123 worksheets, and we will discuss them with you. It has 3 sections. The first section is your costs. The second section is all of your financial aid from grants, scholarships, and loans. And the third section is any balances once all financial aid is deducted from your costs. Keep in mind that work study is a work program and it does not automatically count towards costs. It must be earned through working. We are excited to have you here at Detroit Mercy, and we have a team of financial aid professionals ready to virtually meet with you and go over your 123 sheets. We would like to meet with every family who wants to review their aid packages. Therefore, we will have to keep the meetings brief. Again, welcome and thank you for choosing Detroit Mercy.